3 common things that hold beginner Amazon sellers back. What's up everyone? My name's Garrett. I'm a full-time 7-figure Amazon. In today's video, I'm gonna be talking about 3 different things I see all the time that hold beginner Amazon sellers back from seeing success. New to the channel, I create a ton of content around selling and making money on Amazon. So if that's something you're interested in learning more about, definitely consider joining the family. But after 5 years of selling on Amazon, being a part of the Amazon selling community, I've been able to meet a ton of different Amazon sellers, new sellers, experienced sellers, intermediate sellers, and I always find this commonality within people just trying to get into the business, trying to get started, trying to get their business off the ground. I see 3 major things that really hold people back, so I want to address those today and kind of go into how to avoid those things so you have the best chances at seeing success with starting your Amazon journey. Let's not waste any more time and get straight into it. So the first thing I see amongst a ton of new sellers is they just quit too soon, right? They give this business a shot for literally 1 week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, and they never really get into the process and into a groove to be able to actually see the fruits of their labor, right? They may go out sourcing for a couple weeks, find a few items here, a few items there, send them in, and they don't really see these huge sales numbers that you see floating around on social media, so they get discouraged extremely quickly and they just decide to quit, they give up. Now, Amazon's a business that does take a little bit of time to get off the ground, right? You got to learn all the ins and outs of sourcing products, selling them, finding what's a good, actual profitable product to sell on Amazon versus what's not a good product. So being a beginner, it's pretty tough starting out to learn all the stuff you need to know. So don't just give up after a couple weeks of trying, right? You got to go through those learning pains to be able to actually grow and experience, all the success you see on social media of all these people actually getting results selling on Amazon, right? You don't want to give up after 3 weeks, 4 weeks into the business. You need to give this business literally a full 12 months to really start seeing the fruits of your labor and start seeing it actually pay off, right? You can't expect this to just happen overnight, right? Especially if you're someone new, you maybe only have $500, $1,000 to actually get started. You're not going to be doing $100,000 months tomorrow night, right? When I started this business, I started with $1,600 to my name, and it took me a good year or 2 to actually really get the ball rolling to where I could actually make a very good living doing this. So it took me a long time with a low amount of capital to get the ball rolling, but the good thing is you're gonna start seeing results. You're gonna start having small wins throughout your journey, right? And those small wins are what will motivate you to keep going forward and keep trying and keep improving and keep learning new things. So the first thing for new Amazon sellers is don't quit too soon, right? You wanna get to the finish line. You wanna make sure you do this long enough to actually see the results and see what Amazon can actually do for you in your life. So the second thing I see a lot of new sellers do, it's just very common, is they make excuses for how much money they have to start the business, right? They think you need tens of thousands of dollars to start this business because it's a physical products business, right? We have to buy products in order to be able to sell them, right? This isn't drop shipping where you can sell something before you buy it, right? You have to have some form of capital to actually go out there and buy products. So I see a lot of sellers complaining, oh, I only have $1,000 to get started. That's not going to be enough. So they just never get started, right? And that's one of the biggest mistakes you can make as a new seller. There's a ton of different ways to actually make money selling on Amazon. There's a business model for every level of seller, right? If you have $1,000, get out there and start sourcing used items like used electronics, used books, stuff that's very low buy cost and has a really high ROI. So you can start turning that money as quickly as possible, reinvesting it, and then you can start getting into the bigger business models, maybe like online arbitrage, retail arbitrage, wholesale, private label. But don't just use that excuse of I only have $500, $1,000 as an excuse not to get started, right? There's always something you can be doing. You can be selling stuff around your house. Do you have a used CD player? Do you have a used DVD player? Do you have any used books? There's a ton of different ways for you to go out there with a low amount of capital and actually get this business off the ground. So if you're someone out there who's been kind of hesitating to actually start an Amazon business because you don't have a lot of money, guys, I recommend just go bare bones with it, right? Get your Amazon seller account, maybe get Keepa, and just use the Amazon Sellers app. Go out there, start scanning products. This is a learning process, especially when you're just getting started with a low amount of money. You want to learn how this business works. You want to learn what makes a good product. You want to learn how to ship products into Amazon. This is all a part of the learning process, right? So Don't just use that as an excuse not to get started. Get out there, hit some Goodwills, go buy some used books. Go home, label those books, get them packed up, shipped. You're learning, you're building that knowledge that one day when you do have enough capital or more access to capital to scale this business, you're gonna have that knowledge from just getting out there and actually getting in the woods, putting in the work, and learning how the process of selling on Amazon actually works. So don't use the low amount of capital as an excuse not to get started. And the third and final commonality I see amongst new Amazon sellers that really holds a lot of people back is they get into analysis paralysis, right? They never get started because they're watching hundreds of YouTube videos, right? They're buying 16 different courses. They're listening to this guy, they're listening to that guy, and they're just trying to learn all this stuff before they actually get started, which is really good to learn from people on YouTube, like from my YouTube channel, other content creators out there. But the thing is, guys, you're gonna learn the most when you actually go out there and take action. There's just stuff that being involved in this business that you can't learn from a course, right? They're just different little tedious things happen on a day-to-day basis that you're gonna have to learn, you're gonna have to fight through, and you're gonna have to find solutions to, right? And you're not gonna find that in a YouTube video. If you've watched 10 or 15 YouTube videos, that's more than enough information to get out there, start taking action. The first step, get your Amazon seller account set up. Get your Amazon seller app on your phone and go out there when you're out grocery shopping, scan a few products, start identifying potential products that you can make a profit on, start learning what sales rank is. Don't just go on YouTube and start looking up strategy A, strategy B, how do I do this? You're just gonna get confused and you're eventually just not gonna take action, right? You're gonna find eventually what works for you by trying different things, right? Maybe you try Goodwills, maybe you try going to Walmart, maybe you try shopping at online retailers, maybe you hit the outlet mall, maybe you try to find some wholesalers. You're gonna find what works for you by taking action, not by watching hundreds of hours of YouTube videos. So don't get stuck in that analysis paralysis, overthinking things, over-consuming content, and not actually getting out there in the woods and taking action. So guys, those are the three things that I see a lot of Amazon sellers do, especially when they're just getting started, that just, it freezes people up, it holds them back, and it prevents them from actually getting the ball rolling with selling on Amazon. So I hope you gained some valuable information from this video. If you did, if you have any questions for me whatsoever, leave a comment down below. Again, consider subscribing if you like learning about selling on Amazon. If you're new to Amazon, you want to get started on the right track, definitely check out the Arbitrage University, which is my coaching program, linked down in the description. But that's going to wrap it up for this one, guys, and I'll see you on the next video.